Good day and welcome to Mayo King's TV News. I am Timiola Emanuela. Now to begin the news, here are some of our top stories. Delta government declares zero tolerance for human trafficking. Federal government in talks with Saudi Arabia, UK, US, and others on jobs for Nigerians. On the business news, federal government presents operation permit to Air Tanzania. On sports, Man City in contact with PSG to discuss Donnarumma deal. Now the news in full. Delta State government has described human trafficking as an act of wickedness and threatened that the state would not spare anyone found guilty, including the sponsors of the crime. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ekemejero Ohwovoriole, who also chairs the Delta State Task Force on Human Trafficking and Irregular Migration, made this known during a strategic meeting with newly appointed task force members in Asaba. The meeting centered on strengthening the task force operational structure, enhancing the capacity of members to track and curb trafficking in persons, and improving information sharing. It also addressed public awareness campaigns, victim rehabilitation and reintegration, and closer coordination with national agencies to protect victims and bring offenders to justice. While expressing concern over the rising trend, the Attorney General pledged the government's readiness to strengthen its partnership with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons (NAPTIP) to stamp out the menace, urging task force members to build on the work already done. The Attorney General further noted that Delta State has a dedicated law prohibiting trafficking in persons and remains the only state in Nigeria with all its statutes freely accessible online anywhere in the world, an achievement he described as one of the silent successes of this administration. The Benin Zonal Commander of NAPTIP, Mr. Sam Ophir, commended the Delta State government for creating the task force and described it as a brilliant initiative that would bolster the fight against human trafficking. The political landscape of Ukwani local government area was rattled on Tuesday following the suspension of the executive chairman, Honorable Barrister Possible Ajede, from the All Progressive Congress APC Ward 10, Obiaroko, for alleged gross misconduct and breach of party rules. In a letter dated 12 August 2025, signed by the APC Ward 10 chairman, Mr. Akbotuwo Shukudi, and endorsed by members of the Ward Executive Committee, Ajede was accused of multiple infractions ranging from abandonment of party activities to circulation of forged documents. The Ward Executive resolved to suspend Ajede from the APC for 3 months with immediate effect and to set up a disciplinary committee to investigate the allegations in detail. During the suspension period, he is barred from participating in any party-related activities. The decision, according to the letter, was taken in line with the APC constitution and the mandate of the ward executive to maintain party discipline and uphold the integrity of the organization. The suspension notice was copied to key political figures, including APC Delta State Chairman Elder Omeni Sabote, Delta State Deputy Governor Semonde Onyeme, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Senator Ned Nwoko, and others at state and local levels. Youths from Ukala-Ezi-Ebu and communities of Oshimili North Local Government Area and Aniocha North Local Government Areas of Delta State on Tuesday took to the streets of Asaba, down to Government House to register their grievances over the abandoned Ukala-Ezi-Ebu Road. The youths who carried placards of different inscriptions were prevented from protesting at the Government House gate. The youths, however, gave the Delta State government a 30-day ultimatum to commence construction on the abandoned Ukala-Ezi-Ebu Road. They also demanded an official government statement within 7 days and a leadership meeting to discuss the way forward. Addressing the Chief of Staff, Government House, Honorable Prince Johnson Erijo, Group spokesperson Comrade Henry Imoma, said the route is a major lifeline that connects the communities to markets, schools, health centers, and other essential activities. Responding to the development, Erijo commended the youth for their peaceful approach and assured them that Ohwovoriole administration would address the matter. Federal government is in discussions with Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, and other countries to create more employment opportunities for Nigerians. This was disclosed by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammad Magiri Dinyadi, in Abuja yesterday. He stated the initiative was part of the government's plan to address unemployment through skill development, modern vocational training, and strategic international partnerships. Dingyadi revealed that a memorandum of understanding had been signed with one of the countries, while talks with others were in the advanced stages. The minister assured Nigerians that the government remained committed to creating a secure, fair and competitive work environment while leveraging both domestic reforms and international partnership to boost employment and productivity. The minister further stressed the importance of equipping Nigerians with skills relevant to the global digital economy, noting that the ministry was actively working with partners to integrate AI, green economy, and digital literacy training into its program. Now on entertainment news. The federal government has named Fuji music star Wasiu Ayinde, popularly known as Kwam1, as an ambassador for proper airport security protocols following the resolution of his recent altercation with ValueJet staff. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, announced the decision on Wednesday while confirming that the 6-month flight ban earlier placed on the singer had been reduced to 1 month. Also, the federal government has withdrawn its criminal complaint against Ms. Comfort Emerson, the passenger accused of unruly behavior abroad on a bomb air flight. According to the minister, the resolutions were reached after reviewing the incident, considering appeals from well-meaning individuals, and considering the remorse shown by those involved. Keyamo revealed that Ibom Air has agreed to withdraw its complaint against Ms. Emerson, who was arrested over the August 10th incident. Recalling on Sunday, August 10, 2025, Emerson was removed from an Ibom Air flight from Lagos to Uyo after refusing to turn off her phone as instructed by crew members. The situation escalated when she became physically aggressive, striking a flight attendant, and had to be restrained and escorted off the aircraft to Murtala Mohammed International Airport. In response, Ibom Air imposed a lifetime ban on her from both local and international flights, citing its zero-tolerance policy toward violent or disruptive behavior. Following the withdrawal, the airport command and police prosecutor will take steps to secure a release from Kirikiri prison this week. The Airline Operators of Nigeria has also agreed to lift the lifetime flying ban placed on her, with details to be announced soon. Now on business news. The federal government has presented the Foreign Carrier Operation Permit (FCOP) to Air Tanzania Company Limited. Speaking at the event at the headquarters of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, the Permanent Secretary Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana said the initiative aimed to enhance operational efficiency, safety, and collaboration between Nigeria and the United Republic of Tanzania in the aviation sector. He said the FCOP would standardize procedures, ensuring seamless interactions and efficient operations between Nigeria and Tanzania, stakeholders and aligning with international best practices. It stated that the initiative aligned with the President Bola Tinubu-led federal government's effort to promote regional integration and cooperation in West Africa and beyond. Moreover, Kana assured Air Tanzania officials of Nigerians' readiness to provide all they need to operate and instructed them to liaise with all the agencies in the ministry to meet their needs. Now, on the foreign scene. The U.S. Supreme Court is being asked to overturn a landmark case that granted same-sex couples the right to marry throughout the United States, alarming supporters in the wake of the overturned Roe v. Wade and coming months after California voters moved to protect same-sex marriage. The case involves Kim Davis, a former Kentucky county clerk, who received national attention years ago for a refusal to issue marriage licenses to gay couples over her religious beliefs. Liberty Counsel, which is representing Davis, is asking the Supreme Court to overturn a judgment against Davis and to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges. In a petition for writ of certiorari filed last month, Davis argues First Amendment protection for free exercise of religion immunizes her from personal liability for the denial of marriage licenses. The petition appears to mark the first time since 2015 that the court has been formally asked to overturn the landmark marriage decision. Davis is seen as one of the only Americans currently with legal standing to bring a challenge to the president. Highlighting after a battle in the court over Proposition 8, in which California voters approved an amendment to the state constitution to say that only marriage between a man and a woman was valid and recognized in the state. Same-sex marriage was legalized in California in 2013. The Obergefell v. Hodges decision came 2 years after and a decade after San Francisco granted marriage licenses to same-sex couples under then Mayor Gavin Newsom, the American Civil Liberties Union of Northern California. So far in 2025, at least 9 states have either introduced legislation aimed at blocking new marriage licenses for LGBTQ people or passed resolutions urging the Supreme Court to reverse Obergefell at the earliest opportunity, according to the advocacy group Lambada Legal. Finally, on the world of sports, Manchester City have established contact with Paris Saint-Germain in order to discuss a potential deal for Italy goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, who is being forced out of the Parc des Princes. PSG, who have recently brought in French goalkeeper Lucas Chevalier at a cost of €40 million plus up to €15 million in bonuses, have decided that Donnarumma is no longer the club's first choice. The former AC Milan goalkeeper helped PSG become the second French club after Olympique Marseille in 1993 to win the UEFA Champions League. The Parisians hammered Serie A giant Inter Milan 5-0 in the final played inside the Allianz Arena. Donnarumma, the 26, has recently been left out of PSG's travelling squad for the upcoming UEFA Super Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur, not even allowing him a place among the substitutes. PSG would hope to put their disappointing end to the FIFA Club World Cup when they face Tottenham Hotspur in the Super Cup. Despite going into the final of the FIFA Club World Cup as favourites, Donnarumma and his PSG teammates suffered a shock 3-0 defeat to Chelsea. Now to end the news, a recap on our headlines. Delta government declares zero tolerance for human trafficking. Federal government in talks with Saudi Arabia, UK, US and others on jobs for Nigerians. On the business news, federal government presents operation permits to Air Tanzania. On the world of sports, Man City in contact with PSG to discuss the Donnarumma deal. That's the news as read and edited by Timela Emanuela. Thanks for watching.